mid-table team, then you've got to accept that staying in the Premier League, particularly mid-table, is about the limit of your ambition. And I
Mm.
think there's so much pressure on teams from the lower 14. I mean, it's the top six, and then it's the others, basically, almost a separate league. And if fans or owners think above themselves, they could end up getting their fingers burned and get relegated. It's just a strange league, the Premier League now, which we'll come on to, I suspect, in a minute.
Mm. Mm. Now, you mentioned the Palace manager, Oliver Glasner. Now, I did see a rumor online that you know, it already departed Crystal Palace, but I don't think that's true. Is that true? Is it still at Crystal
No,
Palace? Is
no,
it gone?
he's still there, and I
Right.
think he
Okay.
will be. I think he will, if I can put it this way, he will be made to see out his contracts until the end of the season, and I
Right.
think rightly so. Although after his comments immediately after the game at Sunderland on Saturday,
Mm.
or was it Saturday or Sunday? It was Saturday, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then things have changed around a bit, and it feels to a lot of fans that the gloss has gone off a little bit of Oliver Glasner. Now, first of all, nobody will forget what he achieved for Crystal Palace. He's been here at Palace 2 years next month, so which tends to be the sort of time he's stayed at previous clubs. One exception, he was at can't think, it wasn't Frankfurt, but one of the German clubs. I think he was there for 4 years, but three others he was there for 2 years. Interestingly, the last two, I believe, he was sacked from Frankfurt and the team before that. But anyway, yeah, people will never forget what he's done for Palace. I certainly won't. The thrill, the joy of winning that first important trophy, the FA Cup last year, and then to go on and win the other one, both against top clubs, Man City in the FA Cup, Liverpool in the Community Shield. And it was a great time to be a Palace fan because we'd never really known that kind of existence. And indeed, if you we're now on a run which is 10 games since we last won. The last one, I think, was early November, 7th of November against Fulham.
Mm.
We won that one 2-1 at Fulham. But that's the last one that Palace have won. There have been some draws, they're not all defeats.
Mm.
So there's been this bad run. And anyway, you may or may not have seen Oliver Glasner's interview, I think, with the BBC after the game.
Mm.
And it was quite interesting because I don't think I've ever seen um, a football manager in the Premier League quite so obviously angry,
Mm.
which kind of was a new thing to see with him. I've noticed on the touchline in the last month or two, he seems to have visibly got much angrier with some of the players during a match,
Mm.
often one or two of the juniors, which he never used to do. He's always sort of pointing his fingers around like managers do, telling them what to do. But he's been a bit angrier, so maybe a different side of him has come out. But basically, he had a real go at the owners. He said that twice his heart has been ripped out this season by the owners. He said one the day before Eze went to Arsenal, he was told he was going and had to then replan after his training that week. And then on Friday last week, he said at 10:30, I was told Mark Gay is going to Man City, so he won't be in the squad to travel to Sunderland. And he said, this has never happened anywhere else I've been at, and I've been let down. And he went on to say that he was proud of the players on Saturday. They said, on Saturday, they gave everything.
Mm.
But he didn't make any substitutions. Now, for example, Walton had been booked, and he then committed another tackle, which probably should have been a booking and therefore a sending off. But
Mm.
the ref didn't do that. But normally, if a player's booked, a manager at some point will take them off and put a sub on. And indeed, last week, Palace recalled a Palace player on loan who's on loan somewhere, a chap called Imre. So he was on the bench as well. But he said, no, he said, I'm proud of the players out there. He said, but I've only got 12 fit players. He said, I've been abandoned. He said, I've got nothing on the bench to come and strengthen the team. So it was as if he wasn't going to make any substitutions. Now, it's all very well saying that, but that's kind of throwing your bench players under the bus to say they're all no good. And some of them perhaps aren't up to the level, but they're young, some of them. And yeah, I think we have got a weakened situation because Palace have got some serious injuries. I mean, Sarr, for example, good player, great player. He's been at AFCON, Senegal. Kamada, who's a good Japanese player, he's been injured for quite a long time. Munoz, our sort of talisman right wing back, he's been injured. I mean, they're thinking he might come back on Sunday at long last. And, you know, these are very key players who, and of course, we then didn't have Mark playing on Saturday either. And the point is, Oliver Glasner would have known, he knew Mark Gay was going to go. And what does a club do? Now, I think the board have made mistakes, of course. It's not all one way. But I think to blame them for that, he knew that Mark was going to go. If we waited till the summer, after the end of the season, it'd have no value because his contract's gone, so he would go free. Football clubs are a business. Palace are not one of the great rich clubs, although we do have 3 billionaire owners. But there's only so much you can do with that money, as Newcastle know. They've got trillionaire owners, but they can't buy all the players they want because of these financial rules that limit clubs to their turnover and things like that. So for him, so in other words, any club like Palace, if an offer comes in the window before the contract runs out, and in this case it was 20 million, which is a giveaway fee for Mark Gay, but 20 million quid, a business, a club, don't sneeze at. So you understand why, and we all knew Mark Gay was going to go. He made his intentions clear. He was a great player, great captain, and he's a great loss to us. He really is. But for Glasner to sort of weaponise that, I don't really understand. He knew that he was going to go, probably in January, in the same way he knew Eze was going to go, because Eze made it quite clear. What it brings into focus, Cuz, I think, is the way the Premier League is structured in the